All right, I'm excited. The new checklist I feel like is going to just make things a little bit clearer. So this is now part of Foundations, and I'm going to actually make it a little bigger because I can see Amber squinting.
Oh,
And
it's just because I'm on my phone. I always
it's
zoom it in.
okay.
You're
It's
good.
okay. All right. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully you can still see that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we still have avatar, pain points, big message, service offer staircase, and we just stuck business essentials up there, which I think most all of you have at least started that process with getting those in place, getting those pieces put together. So branding, we have a branding intake. We have Chelsea, our branding expert, and I believe everybody here has gone through the branding now, right? Amber, you haven't yet.
No, so she reached out to me last week and said she's in the process of switching it to her new system, her new form, and then
That's
she
right.
said that she should have it all done by tomorrow and she'll send it to me and then we'll go from there. So that's what I've been waiting on. My opt-in's
Okay.
done, but everything else I'm just waiting on that.
Okay, super. So I'm just making myself a note.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody else that told me that too, that she was going to get back with them. I think it was Shauna. So we will. So I just have to make my notes there. Okay. Can you guys still see my
Dan,
screen? Okay. Yes.
I also haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it yet either. Okay.
Uh-uh.
So, but Jess, did we finish getting through? We did your service offer staircase and all of that, right, Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought we made it through all of this. So but yeah, as soon as you make it through that, and if you've checked it off on tier 1 or on your foundations and member vault, tier 1 pops open, and I will be replacing this. I'll be sticking this in that member vault, so you'll have access to it there. So, and then I'll also share it, your own personal checklist with you as well. Okay. So branding is going to be the intake, branding expert with your brand board, Canva account, and creating a logo. Some of you guys are going to want Chelsea to do the logo. If you do, I don't know. I need to ask her. I think it's another $97 or something if you want her to create your logo. If you want to create your own, there are some options in Canva that will help you get it started. When you get started, you don't necessarily need to have a professional logo, and you can have that created later on. Professional logos generally cost around anywhere between $350 and $500 to create. So I know Chelsea's deal is a lot better than that. But if for whatever reason money's tight and you just don't want to do that, you can create a pretty good one from Canva. And that's where a lot of people start until their business is a little bit further along. So, but you'll need that logo. So then we get into the social media part where you've got at least one business social media. You've got 3 branded templates in Canva. You've got a social media calendar with 8 posts that you've been able to schedule out 8 posts and be able to schedule out 2 posts a week. So you don't have to have all 8 of them scheduled together. Just have an idea of what 8 posts you're going to put in there. For those of you who are posting 3 times a week, that's going to be done in 3 weeks. For those of you who are posting less often than that, that might take a little longer. But we want to know that you've scheduled 2 posts. At least one time you know how to go in there and schedule your posts to make it easier for you later on. Your newsletter, opt-in and newsletter. I just need to change this to opt-in. Your opt-in, you're creating just a rough opt-in, just an idea. Then you're going to finalize it and you're going to get approval from whoever is your coach to share it with your peers. And so sometimes if people share their opt-in too early with everybody, you'll get lots and lots of opinions. And so sometimes it's good to get it passed through whoever your coach is, which is for right now, it's me. So pass it through me first and then share it to get those last refining, like those refining suggestions with it. The landing page, your story branded rough draft landing page. Can be sketched out on a piece of paper. It can be sketched out, like you can just type it out. This is like the wording and the language that you're going to use so that when you go to stick it into Funnel Breezy, then you already have the wording and you already have the pieces put in there, and then you'll have that approved and you'll attach your opt-in into your landing page. But I probably need to stick I probably need to stick then. Okay, so I'll need to fix the formatting on that. Okay, so that way you know where your landing page is and what it is that you are needing to do next with it, or if there's anything that you need to tweak. The biggest things that we look for with a story branded landing page are short little chunks of words, because as we know from story brand, we don't like our brains do not like reading big chunks of words. They just won't. They'll just skip through it. So bullet points, simple statements, things like that are really going to help with any kind of a landing page, help it to be able to be read and seen, visually appealing, lots of white space, make it easy to consume. And then, yeah, attaching that opt-in to the landing page, which we can do through Funnel Breezy. The newsletter, it's an email marketing account. If you're using Funnel Breezy, you don't have to create anything. It's already there. Then your newsletter heading will be in Canva, and I'll show you just quickly about like kind of what you're looking at. If you got the email from the Disciple Thought Leader team this last weekend, you will see that there was an email heading, and that heading will be just at the top of every email template that we have. You just create a template and you just stick that in there. Sometimes, like if I want to create it and like make it fun, I'll change it up for the seasons, or I'll change it up for whatever it is that's going on for my own newsletter. And so that's something that is kind of fun to do, but you at least want a heading to start with. It's like a standard heading, and they're easy to swap out. So we'll want that. And then one draft newsletter. So you can choose to have like your first draft newsletter. Now, this is for people who don't have a who don't have an email list yet. So if you have an email list, you can send out a newsletter. You go ahead and start getting that, like decide how consistently. Is it going to be monthly? Is it going to be weekly? Is it going to be bi-weekly? But how are you going to do it and be consistent? What day of the week? That's really important. So your people get used to, that, James Clear comes on Wednesdays and Greg McEwen's comes on Thursdays, and they know what to look for. So in that draft, you can decide what you want to put in it. You can do an about me. Hey, let me introduce myself. This is what I do. You can repurpose any social media that you've done. And that's one of the things that I found that was pretty easy. I would take maybe one of my more favorite posts from the last week and plop in the picture, the graphic, and underneath it, I'd say, hey, did you miss this? Or check this out if you didn't get to see it, with a link that goes right to that post in social media. So it's an easy way to repurpose that. Or you can get bonus content that is exclusive for your newsletter group. Sometimes I would put in bonus downloads. Sometimes it would be, here's an extra podcast episode, or this is my favorite book, or let me know if you're interested in being part of this new challenge, or something like that. And so you can decide what you want, but just with an idea. So you're going to want a draft newsletter, which means you don't have to send it yet, but that it would be ready to go with something in it if you wanted to send it. And then you need one auto delivery email for your opt-in. And that kind of is going to go up here. In fact, I'm going to move. No, I'm not going to move that. I'm going to leave that there. So that means that when somebody opts into whatever, like they're on your landing page and they want your thing that you've got, and they click the button and they put their information in, that they get one delivery email that has your opt-in in it. And then if you want to make that's called a nurture sequence, you can make your nurture sequence as long as you want after that, but that you need at least one that has the link for them to download whatever it is that you have. And then you get a graduation podcast interview. So that can be right now it's with Connie. Sometimes that shifts a little bit, but she will bring you on and she will interview you on her one of her podcasts. I think it's the Purpose Filled Women podcast that she does. And so we have an outline for you. And then once you have that interview and it's been recorded and posted, you're going to just share that on your social media. So does anyone have any questions? Is this clear? I would love to get any feedback that you guys have. Is this clear? Does it make sense? Do you have questions about it?
can-
Yeah, Sarah.
I have a question. Can you just explain again the nurture sequence, what that looks like?
Yes.
What was that? What was entailed in that?
So in fact, let me, easiest way might be to pop open Funnel Breezy here. Okay, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Okay, so let me show you. She's got some email templates that will really help with this. So let me go to my templates here. This is, again, this is in Funnel Breezy. If you go here, you will see that at the bottom, she actually has it on the next page. It is a nurture sequence. So what a nurture sequence is it takes somebody who is just opted into whatever it is that you have, and it kind of nurtures them and gives them kind of like you're walking alongside them through the nurture sequence. So this first one, this first email, and you would go through and just update it so it's like yours. You put your own email heading in here, and she gives you kind of example. You can say, hey, how are you doing? Here's your freebie, or here's your opt-in. I am so excited for you to be able to use this to get these results. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so that's usually the first email you've got. So here is, here's like her example of what that would be. You could go change some wording on that. We also have some other examples in Member Vault of things that you could put in for your nurture sequence. Your second email is generally a check-in. Hey, did you get that opt-in? Did that work for you? Do you have any questions about it? I know you're super busy. So here's another link just in case you missed it in the first email. And then your third email could be something like, I would love to follow you on social media. Here's a link to my different social media links. And then that would be your third email. And then maybe your fourth email would be, here's a way that this person used this for, I don't know, this reason, but you're just giving them little bits and just serving. You can sell about every 4 to 5 emails that you send out. So we don't sell generally very much during those. We can offer a discovery call. You can say, if you have more questions, I would love to hop on a call with you and let's talk about it. Here's a link to my here's a link to my discovery calls. So you can offer more services, but generally we don't like say, hey, here's this thing, and then immediately hit them with sales, because that's not, it looks and it feels like a little bit like we just tricked them, and we don't want that. We want them to feel like we really do care about how they're doing and we're taking care of them. And then when you have like a sales email, then it's, again, we're not hard hitting them. It's more like, are you interested? I've got this thing and I thought you might be interested in it. And if you are, here's something about it, and you can click on it. It might be a value offer, or it might be, let's schedule a coaching call, or it might be, have you checked out my $27 ebook, or here's a little mini course you might be interested in. And it's a kind of just a gentle, goes along with everything else. Does that help a little bit, Sarah? There's not like a perfect way to do it. It's just going to be how you want to nurture. Like one of yours could be, hey, here's a playlist that I love to listen to, or here's an article, a link to an article that I found really helps me with this.
That makes really good sense. Thank you. You're
welcome. So nurture sequence emails, you will notice when you sign up for them, some of them are longer. This is like 6 of them. Generally most DTL women are not doing 6. Generally they're doing more, maybe more like 4. And then what happens with that is that as soon as they're done, we shift them into our general newsletter pipeline. So now they're going to get that newsletter that just comes to everybody every week, or every other week, or once a month. So they're going from, hey, here's this thing and I'm just checking in on you and just making sure everything's good, to now I'm going to keep in touch with you. I want to keep top of mind for you. And here's this valuable thing that I'm giving you once a month. Does that make sense for everyone? Or once a week? This is a great way, if you have a podcast, great way to hey, this podcast just dropped today. Here's what we're talking about. You're going to learn these 3 things. I can't wait for you to join. Great way to do that. So we use newsletters. Really, we don't want them super long. I don't know for you guys. And we kind of talked about this in our group B last week, but when you think of the newsletters that you like to subscribe to and that you look forward to reading and that you find valuable and that has content, that's probably about the style that you're going to want to look for. For most of us, it's short. There was a lady that had great content that I was really excited. She had a fantastic opt-in, but her nurture sequence that she sent after, it went for 30 days. I got an email for 30 days, and each email, what took me, like I started because I was really excited about it at first, but each email was just so much text. I was just reading page after, I felt like just page after page. It would take me like 10 minutes. And by the 3rd day that she sent it, it was like, oh my gosh, this is still coming. And I don't have time to read. I don't like feeling behind. And I like to keep my inbox cleaned up. It's like, I don't have time to do this. And I unsubscribed, even though what she had really was like a really good product. So we want to be respectful of people's time, but give them the right amount of information. What other questions do you have about nurture sequence? Great question, Sarah. Everyone else good? Okay. All right. So the new checklist will be uploaded in Member Vault. They have, and I'll go through and make sure that we've got all the stuff in there for the nurture sequence. And so that's where some of you guys are this week. I would love to hear though, where is everyone? What are you working on? What's your goals for this week? Are you stuck with anything? Is there anything that we can do to help you today? So does anyone have something just right off that you're like, okay, yep, this is what I need, or here's where I am? Who wants to start? Yes, Jess.
Hello. Gosh, I miss you ladies so much. Okay, so Diane, you and I talked a few weeks ago, whatever, and it seems like since then it's been an absolute whirlwind and have not even reached out to Chelsea, have not even created my Canva account, whatever. It's been crazy. About a month ago, I think it was probably a week before you and I talked, I had mentioned before that my mom and I are writing a book, and we, busting every spare second, which is limited, creating this. And then about a month ago, she'd gotten some feedback from the beta readers, and she was like, Jess, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh snap, what's going on? And she said, they're saying that there's just some inconsistencies. And Jess, I feel like we just wrote book 2 and not book 1. And we still have this massive deadline. And we're trying really hard, not trying, we got to do or do not. We are actively working to get it available on Amazon the last week of September, so it's live for domestic violence month in October, right? So it's all these crunch deadlines, and she's like, so we still have to write book 1. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we went back to the trenches, wherever else, and she texted the next day and she's like, hey, so I actually pulled all the content that I had pulled off that wasn't really fitting, and we did book 1. And so anyways, like we're in this massive crunch, and so I feel like this is like my main focus right now, of just every spare second, because we're actively finishing it up this week. But I feel like about the same time I was, like my life can feel really crazy and busy and hectic schedules and kids and all the things, whatever else. And so I feel like this craziness, because I felt this prompting me about a month ago that I wouldn't be in this crazy position in the next 6 months. And so I'm feeling this massive drive of like needing to get this business like that much more involved and up and going and whatever. So then, I can be in this space, but also with this book being published in the very near future, I want it to kind of be alongside what I'm doing with you guys. And does that make sense? Kind of.
So, yeah, just so what I hear you saying, let me just make sure that we're on the right page, is that you've got this book that you're working on, and the deadline that you want to hit is the last week of September, so that it is published by October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, or something like that, right? Is that so far I'm right?
We have to have everything that we are working on submitted to all the people who then have to do all the stuff, like by the end of this week. So then it will be
Oh, by the end
available
of this
the
week.
last week of September.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's my question. How are you marketing your book?
I hadn't thought about it.
So you are jumping into a pool without getting a swimming suit on.
I know.
You're jumping in with all your clothes and just hoping that you don't drown.
Right. So my mom has been doing everything on the backside. I literally
Mhm.
like, you know, her and I were like, mom. And so she's doing stuff, but then I'm needing to get like actively involved. Well, also I mean, the timelines, like God is like, this has to be right now. And you guys like make the time and, oh, okay. Like we're just trusting it. Right. We'll also just like, wait. I'm freaking out.
So what I would invite you to consider, Jess, is what if you put these foundation pieces in, and this is why these foundation pieces play. So it's not that you're working alongside the book. It's not like the book is here and the foundation pieces are here. You're using the foundation pieces to reach your audience, to get the book to your audience. You can put a book out there along with the 500,000 other books that are going to be released on October on Amazon,
Right.
and it's going to get lost.
Right.
So these pieces are to put in place so that you can reach your people, so that you have social media posts, so that you have your branding and everything else done to help your book be out. So let's just say that your book's out, okay, and you finish whatever you need to this week. Then I would take a step back and I would say, okay, wait a minute. Now, for me to be able to get this book marketed and get it to the people that it needs to go to, I'm going to get my branding done, and that's going to take a couple of weeks. So it's not like you do the branding and it just comes right back. It does take a couple of weeks. So you're going to get your branding done, and you're going to get your social media, start getting your social media post templates up, and you're going to get your opt-in finished, which might be the first chapter of the book, because then you can start reaching out to your channels and your audience, the people who are going to be interested in what you're doing, and then you can offer it to them. But right now, you don't have a way to offer them the book. And it's not just going to pop up necessarily, and people say, yeah, I'm going to get it. We've got to help people understand why they want it and why it's important. Help them be able to feel from your heart, you're so passionate about this, and you have such great experience, and you have so much to offer, to transfer that energy and that love and those powerful tools that you have to your audience through these foundations.
Right. And I'm like, and that makes total sense. And that's why I'm kind of just like, you know, reaching out, because it's just a space of like, you know, is this not the best route, but you know, because it is kind of overlapping and kind of all the same time and whatever. And so while I'm reaching out and doing the Canva and doing the Chelsea and doing whatever else, like I didn't know if I need to be doing anything else in addition to, because then the book's like already there. But then and I mean it's all gonna work out, right? Like firm believer, it's all gonna work out.
Yes, but I invite you to consider again, I'm sorry, I said that twice out to you. We are starting our author track, and it is with an editing company. So we are paying actually a whole bunch of money for everybody who joins, and is with an editing company. And Angela Eschler Editing, which has won Best of State in like 6 years in a row. And
Nice.
she is going hybrid with Connie in creating, and she's going to read through the first 10 pages, and they're going to help you get it ready to either self-publish or to submit it to a publishing company. That process is going to be about 13-14 weeks, but I wonder if you could create something a little bit more powerful if you reconsidered your deadline. If you were
when I want my mom like on this phone call with this, right? Because then she's invested like a lot of money, has been working with a publishing company out of London and different things for the last like 6 months. And so she's been doing all of that stuff. And then she's like, Jess, just give me your content and I will create this. And then we're like, you know, reformatting and organizing and whatever else. And so
are you having someone professionally edit it? Are they editing it for content?
Yes.
Oh, so you have an editor?
Yes.
You have an agent?
Yes. My mom has all that on the backside. She's
already gone through a lot of that. So she's doing like a hybrid publishing then. So if you were to take a step back though, and warm up your audience so that you were able to market it in a way that it would be powerful, would that help? Or do you really feel like, where's the deadline coming from?
Just that it's like Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October, and just
Okay,
because
so it says your,
Yeah.
so it's not, the publisher's not saying, we're not gonna publish this if
No.
it's not done by now.
no,
Okay. So maybe just consider, you will best serve your audience. It's your audience, it's your people that are gonna get it.
right,
So how can you reach them? And do you need to maybe think like, and you can still have it published, but then you're going to start building your foundations and get your foundations in place so that you can get this already published book to your audience, because that's like everybody and their dog can publish books. And so it's reaching your audience that can be a little bit more work.
right. And so I think, like, like with my time being so limited, like there's just been this deadline for the last like 6 months while my mom and I've been doing this, but like it's been this space of like, I mean, we're now here, but how much time, and it's all priorities and I get that, whatever, but like how much time realistically can I put into growing that if there is this math deadline? And so do I need to, like what do I need to modify? And that's what I'm kind of like trying to clarify. If it is like, like modifying that deadline day of like when we're available on Amazon, or modifying this, or do I need to be focusing on this, or, because there are just so many hats right now, and just figuring out what's realistic with my energy, time, and ability to do this.
So you can put a book out, but I think if you want it to be as effective as you're hoping it to be, if you want there to be that energy around it, then the excitement and people can't wait to get their hands on the book, then you need to postpone your book. That's just my opinion. Now,
Right.
if you, I'm not like what does Connie always say? I'm not the 11th commandment. So if you feel like you need to do that differently, that's fine. But I think that rushing it this fast, you will lose some of that excitement and that anticipation. You want people anticipating, you want them wanting that book when it comes out, and you want to be able to schedule book signings, and you have a group that you're already nurturing that are following you, that they want to be there, and they're going to want that part of it. Right now, they don't know who Jess is. And you don't want to end up with all of this work and money invested and a book sits there.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
So that's what I would invite you to consider. And maybe let's schedule a call and we can kind of talk about that a little bit more. But I think backing up a little bit may serve you better in the long run.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
That
you.
help? Okay. All right. You're awesome. Thank you, Jess. All right. Who else has something that we can work through? Any blocks? What are you working on right now? Who else wants to go?
I can go. No one
Okay,
else is
all right,
going.
yes.
I feel like I always talk too much. So anyway.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I think for me, I just got all my branding back with Chelsea and I love it. It's so good. So now I'm looking at my landing page and my opt-in.
Okay.
So I have been just brainstorming opt-in ideas. The last one that kind of came to my mind as I fell asleep the other night was maybe like ways. So my thing as I'm building it, it's the theme that keeps coming up is connection. And so I think that's really my focus is helping people create connection with themselves, with God, and with their family. So I've been trying to think of an opt-in that is umbrella enough to encompass all, because what I do, there's so many different pieces underneath that. So I'm trying to think of one that is at that top tier. So with connection, I'm thinking like maybe I kind of want to do a quiz because I think that really draws people in. And so maybe it could be like, here's like common things that can block connections. See if any of them are blocking or like creating connection blocks. And then they can take the quiz, and then the PDF or whatever. I actually don't know how you do it after they do a quiz. I'm sure you can walk me through that. But then the infographic or whatever the document could be, here's how to overcome those blocks and like create stronger connection.
Oh, so I think this is great. So this is what I would suggest to you. I would take one of those areas, the self, God, others, and I would take one, and I would take a little bit of one. And so I would say, here are the most common things that block you from being able to connect with your Heavenly Father, that block you from being able to connect and like be able to connect with yourself or with your teen or young adult or husband or something. So I would take just one and I would create the quiz around that. And then so that it's very, very simple. So what is, instead of offering them a whole bunch, like here's all these different connections, it would be better to make one small thing powerful, because if you can make one little bit powerful, and if you can do that in one opt-in, then they're totally a warm lead. Then you've totally got them to follow you, because if you can do that, then what else can you do? So we're thinking just really, really small. So if you were to create a quiz and then, the results on, now my quiz had the results just on the second page of the opt-in. You could have the quiz on one page, and then maybe the second email you deliver has, the things they can do. I mean, there's different things you can do. You can do online quizzes. Sometimes you have to pay some money, a little bit of money for that. But with your different options, make it like 5 questions or I don't know, maybe 7, 8 questions at the most, because you want it to be short and powerful. And then you're just going to give them a few suggestions depending on what types of blocks they're experiencing. And so for mine, I was like, okay, so I have my four coping strategies. I'm going to give them 2 to 3 suggestions for each strategy. It was super hard for me to narrow it down to 2, but that way they could say, okay, well, I had most of them were that I like to process things. And here's a couple ideas of things that you can try to process, but then they could look through the other ones. And if they wanted to try those too, they could. So that's kind of like, that's a simple way to do it, and to make it super effective in a short amount of time. But you're right, people love quizzes. They love taking that.
Yeah.
So.
I was telling my daughter about it, and she said, "Oh, I've given so many fake emails to take quizzes." I'm like, that's so rude.
It is so rude, but it's true. I know.
But
we
it's
do.
just, she wants to take the quiz, but she doesn't want to be on the email list. So she'll put in a fake email so she can take the quiz.
So she can still take the quiz. Yeah. So that's what, like, if they get the quiz delivered in an email, then at least they had you had their email for a little bit, and some of them will remember to unsubscribe and some of them won't.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends, but people like really, that has been my by far blown everything else out of the water was quiz, because people love that. You just have to sit and think about how to create and craft questions that are powerful. Get people to look through your questions, make them like maybe just 3 to 4 options on each question, and then think of what you can put on the back or what you could put on the second page that would answer their problem.
So when you're creating the quiz, is it just a page and you're writing the questions and then they write their own answers down, or is it,
or I'd
like,
said
you do it interactive?
You can do an interactive one, like an online one. You can. Those are the ones that I have not found. Well, I take that back. Let me look into the first quiz software that I was looking at. What I wanted it to do is I wanted it to sort it and then send an email according to what their answer was, because I think those are really cool. But that part cost money. So then I was like, okay, how else can I do this? And then it just got to be where I'd spent 2 weeks on it. And I was like, okay, Diane, just make a paper one.
Yeah.
You can figure it out later. You can always upgrade it later. So you can do that. But there was if you don't want it sorted out, depending on what they were choosing, then it's Interact, I think is the name of the company that does most of them. You can look and see if they have a free option and what that would look like for you if you don't care if they sort it.
Okay. And if you don't do that, then you just send a paper and it just has the questions on it, and then the answers on the second page or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So sounds like finish up that opt-in, get that opt-in going this week. And okay, fantastic, super. All right, who else has something that they're working on? Taylor, how did you do on your? I know that you've had some medical stuff, so.
Oh, apparently I'm not. Sorry.
It's good.
Yeah, I haven't really got anything done this last week. It's been kind of a hectic week, so I'm gonna try and really just set aside the 2 hours this week and just crank it out. And so I don't think it'll take long. I've been working on it while we're on this call and
Good.
making the progress.
Okay, so maybe can you just do it in an hour? Can you set aside after this meeting an hour?
Yeah, that's my plan is today to do an
Okay.
hour and then tomorrow to get one done.
No, can you just finish it all in an hour?
Maybe. I know I could do my landing page. I just don't know if I can get my opt-in attached because my
Okay.
newsletter thing is having some issues connecting. So that's why I
Okay.
set aside
Okay.
another one.
Okay. All right. Well, and Taylor, if you want to start out, if there's just technical problems and you just don't feel like you've got the brain space to put it together, if someone fills out a form, you can manually add them to a newsletter email list.
Oh, that's good to know.
So they fill out the form, you'd have their information, probably get an email or something that says somebody filled out this form, and then you're going to take their information and manually put it in. If it doesn't automate, you're going to be okay.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know that that's an option.
Yeah.
Too.
So yeah, if the technology just keeps giving you problems.
Okay, I'll look into that too if I just can't get it to work. So, but
Yeah, I would
all the
love
prayers
to.
it does.
Yeah, I know, to pray to the technology gods, but if really just with you have enough stuff going on right now, don't feel like 2 hours for you that might be really hard. You may need just an hour. Just do what you can, but
Perfect.
be reasonable and be compassionate to yourself.
Yeah, I need to do that too. I forget that I get like really compartmentalized and stuff. Sometimes I can be like, oh yeah, there's other things too, and it's okay.
You're okay. It's okay. You've done a really good job with what you've got going on. So I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Amber, where are you with things?
I am just waiting on Chelsea.
Just Chelsea. Okay. Did you look
Okay.
around for social media templates or anything like that yet?
Yeah, like I looked a little bit. I need to do the template part, but I finished my opt-in. I need you to look at it. And then
Sure.
I got set up through Funnel Breezy, and it was hard filling out the paper that they wanted you to fill out because I was like, I don't have my branding yet. But I
Mhm.
just gave them like the Canva color palette that I liked and then some fonts that I liked so far, but I haven't
Good.
heard back from them yet. I don't really know how much they do once I get my branding, like how much of the landing page they design and how much
So
I
they
have
won't-
to do.
It'll be a template because you picked a site template, like what was like name something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
No, I don't. So I probably didn't do that.
They
Oh,
probably.
I did. Yes, I picked one of those.
Okay, so that's what it will look like with
Yes, okay.
your fonts and colors that you put in.
Okay.
That you gave them, and I can show you how to change those fonts and colors later when your
Okay,
branding comes
perfect.
through. But that's
Okay.
it. So they will send you a message and say, or an email and say, okay, so this part is done. Here's how you log in, and here's
Okay.
how you can, get the rest of that done.
Okay. So at this point, Chelsea said she should get back to me. She said by Tuesday with the new form and system that I can fill out. And she said it'll hopefully make it easier for both she and I, like moving
Okay.
forward, everybody to like get what we want. And so that's where I'm at is I'm just,
Okay.
so for now, I'm just like creating my content.
Good.
And just trying to get like ideas for a newsletter and all of that so that when I have my landing page and my Funnel Breezy set up, I can just plug it all in.
Good. So yeah, it sounds like you can outline your newsletter. You can decide what you want to put in a nurture sequence or whatever that's going to look like. Yeah, sounds like you've got your pieces in place. Send me your opt-in, and so we can go through that.
Okay,
And
I'll send that to you.
as soon as you hear back from Tasha and Funnel Breezy, if you can't figure out how to do the landing page, we can do a quick tutorial. on the
Okay, which I
landing page.
might need because I'm not, technology's not my friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We'll get it, and it's a lot easier than you may think. So
Okay,
okay.
If you
Perfect.
want to do a group call on that, I would love to see that
Would you
too,
love
'cause that's
that?
kind of
Okay.
where I am too.
I was just
Okay.
thinking the same thing. This is Tina. I would
Tina,
love
Me
to
too,
sit
Diane,
in on
Sydney.
Okay, so you guys, so all of you guys want a Funnel Breezy landing page little
tutorial.
Yes.
tutorial. Okay, so I will let me look at my schedule and see what day I've got. Like, it won't take us long to go through it.
Okay.
But what day I've got that, and we'll run through that, or I can record a little video and send it to you. One way or the other. I need to look and see what I've got this week. So
Yeah.
okay, super. Because that would be great if we could all just hop on, answer questions. And then
Mhm.
Tasha, the creator Funnel Breezy, is coming a week from Wednesday to talk to us. Or is
Right.
it this Wednesday? Because that will be another great place to have questions. Let me just look. It might be this. It's this Wednesday she's coming. So she's coming to our Disciple Thought Leadership Circle on Wednesday. And she, if you want to bring any questions you have to her, she will also be there to help you. So I'm super excited to have her there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is there anything else that I should be doing in the meantime, or is that pretty much?
If you're outlining things, send me your opt-in and we'll see if anything needs to be tweaked.
Okay.
Keep going with your social media. You're doing great with your social media. Finish up your templates to make that as easy. Like, just pick 3 and
Okay.
just kind of plan out, like, these are, do you already know, like Monday or whatever? I'm gonna do this on this day, this on this day, this on this day.
Yeah, I know like the theme I want on each days. It's now
Perfect.
just coming up with the actual like quotes and content.
Yes, you can fill out as much of that content as
Mhm.
you have time to fill out. And yeah, if you guys like, you'll see like Sarah's doing the music, her music Monday.
Mhm. I
Love
love
it.
that.
Yeah, isn't that's been so good. So just be thinking of things like that. So yes. All right. Sydney, where are you with things?
I'm kind of same way. Tasha just got back my website. She's just cleaning up a couple of things, and I just need to get my landing page, my opt-in newsletter, like that exact piece. Then I can be ready to go.
Awesome. Okay, so if she just cleaning up those things, there is a let's see, on the Funnel Breeze, it's so good. Yeah, you guys are all about in that same spot. So we will get, let me just, okay.
I
so
know
yeah,
she gives us the videos. I do need to go through those, hopefully maybe today, to see if I can start figuring it out too. But if you do a call, please, I would love it.
yes. And those videos, guys, they are like 5 minutes some of them might be 10, but some of them are like 3. So they are pretty short. So that makes it kind of easy to go through it as well. But yes, I'm happy to kind of show you where to get started with that. So yeah. Okay. All right. So so that's going well for you. Anything else, you guys, anything else that you guys have been working on? Anything else I can help you with? Any others blocks? Tina, I don't see your cute face, so I keep forgetting to ask you. Tina, how are you doing?
I'm actually in Kentucky at my parents' house with my dad who's struggling. So that's why I'm talking a little bit lower. Oh goodness, I think I need to meet one-on-one with you about my one big message. But while we're at a group, I've been thinking about this. I want my message to include, or my whole niche to include, women who think they've let God down by getting a divorce. Is that weird?
So it's not weird, but it can be under your umbrella of what you already have up there.
Okay.
And I've noticed
got
some
it.
of your social media posts have kind of like addressed that. And I actually think that's really good. So you can
Okay.
still address it without changing your one big message.
Okay. That's so right. You're so right. I can do that. You're going to
Yeah.
ask me what my one big message is, and I don't have it right now because I'm
That's okay. That's
a
all right.
little,
Sarah just
but,
put in a little note that she has loved watching your social media posts. They are very
thank
tender.
you.
Your
Thank
posts
you.
are very tender. So
Thank you
okay.
guys. That helps so much.
So
Okay, that's where I am.
Yeah, instead of going back to your one big message, because then we're backtracking, then
Yes.
what's your next thing? Get your opt-in done, I think is your next thing, right?
I have, I'll do a meditation. That'll be my opt-in.
Your
So I'm
meditation.
with everyone else. I've already hooked up with the Funnel Breezy. So I just need to do, and I'm a little embarrassed to say, I didn't realize a landing page and website were two different things,
You
but
know
I
what?
got it figured out now.
I figured that out a year ago. I've been
Okay,
doing
thank
this for
you.
like years and like, it just feels like forever. I just figured that they were different a year ago when somebody I was having help me with marketing was like, okay, so I need you to create that. So I just made my homepage, whatever it was that he told me. And then Connie had asked me something about, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what do you mean they're different? I just changed everything. I just recreated my homepage and my website. I didn't realize they were different either. So that's okay. It's just
Okay, that
new
makes me feel
lingo.
better. Yeah.
It's just new lingo and it's all right. And it actually feels good that you do not have to have anything on your website working at all. And you can have your landing page and it works great.
Yeah.
Like nothing else has to be working. You just need a
That's
landing
nice.
page. So, okay.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question
you.
then? So is the landing page, like if people go to your website, you can have it be part of your website, or is it completely separate?
It can, you can connect it or you can have it be separate. Most people will have it be separate. You'll notice at the top, there isn't a menu to like visit home or anything. Most people have it just a separate page. But if you want to make it part of your website, you would just list along the top, like home. It's just putting a menu bar across the top. So technically it is part of your website, but it's like a lot of people make it so you don't navigate to and from places from your landing page, but that's not how everyone does it. I don't know if there's a right or wrong.
So maybe I don't understand fully what it is.
So a landing
the
page,
landing page isn't even connected to your website at all?
so it's technically on the back end, it's connected. It's all part of the same web. The URL for it will be Sarah Gowan's, probably like / opt-in or / whatever connection or something like that. Okay, so it'll probably be that, so that your URL will be connected. But usually at the top of landing pages, there isn't a menu bar where you can navigate to other parts. It doesn't mean that's the way you have to do it. You can make it so that people can find your landing page. So if they're on your homepage and they want to get your freebie, that they just click the button and it goes over to the, freebie. Like you can connect them as much as you want, but they can be different. Some people do so many landing pages and they'll have like 50 different landing pages. So that would really make a website messy if they had 50 different options across the top of their menu bar. So they keep them separate so that if they click on this button, they're just going to go to this page. It helps them track things better too. But yeah. So
does the landing page direct them to the website?
It can.
Okay.
Most people will go to the landing page on its own. So when you are directing people from social media to your free opt-in, you're directing them to the landing page, not to your website, because we want them to just go to a page where they're not going to get distracted by all the other things that are on there. Is a page just dedicated to this free thing that you're offering them. So that's the difference between a landing page and maybe like a home page. Home page is going to have like all these other things, and here's the 3 things I do, and this is how, so I'm a speaker, and go to my speaker page here, or do you want to listen to my podcast over here? It's more like a page that directs you in different directions. A landing page is solely for your opt-in. That's the only thing it's for.
Oh, okay.
That answer that question a little bit? Okay. All right.
I do have a question.
Yes.
If that's okay.
Yes.
So on Funnel Breezy, there's this whole blurb about your old. So I was in Kajabi, and I'm not sure. It looked like Chinese to me, honestly. How to transfer my Kajabi information or really URL to Funnel Breezy. Is that something I can chat with her during the Wednesday?
It will do that for you when you are ready. So once they take your URL off of Kajabi, your Kajabi site won't be up anymore. So if you are in a place that you can't, like with your Kajabi website, that you're not having a million
Mhm.
people. Yep. Sydney can help you with the
That's
Chinese.
true. Good job.
If it was real, that was
That's
funny. Yes, yes, she could.
That's good.
And you might need some meditation after looking at, then might need
Yes.
some yoga and some
Yes.
positive mindset after looking at the technical thing. No, do you just tell Tasha when you're ready to have your URL go over to your Funnel
Okay.
Breezy site, and they do that. It takes a few days. In fact, it can take like, depending on how big your site is, 7 to 10 days, or it can take like 3. So,
Okay.
but she will move it over so that whatever your website is will open up in Funnel Breezy instead of Kajabi. So don't worry about that side of it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. Any other questions today? Everyone know what they're doing? Are you feeling, Ingrid, you feeling okay about where you are?
Yes, I think so. I spent a ton of time on the Funnel Breezy template, but it ended up being the homepage template, not the
That's okay. You'll be able to
landing
get it.
page template.
That's
But
okay.
it's really nice and filled in. I grabbed some free photos from online where I didn't have good photos of my own to use. I used an old headshot of myself. It's on there. So
I'm so proud of you. Way to go.
thank you. So my goal this week is to get the landing page done and just get all the other stuff on the checklist, the tier 1 checklist done, because I'm just right there. But you know,
You
it's
are.
back to school
Yeah.
on Wednesday. And so I was at the school this morning registering my kid who's switching schools, and you know,
Doing all the mom stuff this week. You are.
Yep.
And just realize you guys don't stress about not being in a tier 2 right now. Like really, you're going to be just fine. You'll either join it a little bit late, or you'll do a podcasting or something else, or we'll pop you into course and community, or so. There's always something you can just go and join it when you can. The timeline on this set of tiers are weird, and we're just doing it so we can be done with those tiers by the end of the year before Christmas starts. So we're hoping that was the reason for the timing. But don't feel like you guys are like in a panic. You're not in a panic. If you get in panic mode, you're not going to be able to think clearly on the rest of your information. So just keep moving at the pace that you can move, and it'll be fine. It'll all work out. We're not like going to keep anybody out of any tiers that they want to be part of. You'll be fine. It'll be good.
so here's a question.
Yes.
If I'm not done with the checklist, but speaker track is starting this Thursday, do I just wait to start on speaker track? And
You
I'll
will want
join
to
that
be
as soon
done.
as I'm done.
Yep.
And then I can
all-
like catch up with recordings of the meetings or something.
Mhm, yeah, that's what you'll do. Because all of the tiers will start with that first meeting is making sure everything is in place. And if not, you'll come back to tier 1. So that's every single tier. You have to have everything else in place in order to do
Okay.
it.
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of how to phrase my question. So for us, like I'm still trying to figure out my landing page because I'm just waiting on Chelsea. Do I then jump into the speaker track in a couple of weeks, or do I have to wait until January?
No, if you're waiting, yeah, if I know, Amber, you and I can talk about that. But if
Okay.
you've got all the pieces, if you've got your opt-in, you've got your landing page done to the best, and you just need to update it with Chelsea's branding, then you don't need to wait for that. So
Okay.
but we'll just put in placeholders. We'll just put things in place. You can still have
Okay.
your opt-in and everything else ready to go, and your nurture
Okay.
sequence. And with what you've given Tasha, and then when she gets back to you, we'll just update it. I've updated my branding a whole bunch.
Okay, because I don't have anything back from Tasha yet. So do I jump on the call on Thursday, or do I wait? I mean, you and I can chat later if we need to.
Let's chat.
Okay.
Let's chat so we can look at your opt-in, and we can kind of go through and make sure. If you haven't heard back from Tasha, she would be the next person I would email. You can reach her at hello@Lady Boss Studios, I believe. Find her email, whatever she emailed you from before, and ask her when your website will be ready for you to update. Because then you can just start working and getting that landing page done. Get the form, like everything.
Okay.
Your emails and everything in.
Okay.
So,
And then I'll probably just schedule a one-on-one with you then to
okay.
chat.
Let me
about
know
that.
if there's no time available, and I'll see where I can fit you in.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
okay. All right.
Thank
Are
you.
we good? I know you guys don't be stressed, please. I shouldn't say don't be stressed. Try not to be too stressed. if it's Chinese and you're going to start swearing Chinese, or you're going to like, start crying, take a deep breath, send me a message. I'll talk you down. It's all comes together when it's supposed to. And Raylene will like totally tell you that as well. She'll be like my second witness that you can't force it to go any faster than it's supposed to go. And so your timing will be the right timing, whatever that is. And we'll just be right here with you to help you with whatever that looks like. So let me know if there's anything else you need. In your member vault is the link to schedule coaching calls, as well as your email that hopefully you guys all got. If not, look in your spam, because apparently that's what happens if you put that many links in it, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. So once you take it out of spam, it won't go back in there. All right, you guys, we'll see you. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll be in touch this week. All right.
Thanks,
See you
Diane.
later. You're welcome. All right. See you. Bye.